Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day today. So today we are doing a sunken house. So we're taking a 1930s British terraced house and we are basically imagining that it's had subsidence and damage and all sorts of fun stuff like that, and using the new moving the rooms up and down fun to make an interesting dilapidated house. So we're starting off with it actually being just a normal house, working out where everything would go normally. I also had some fun trying to imagine that it had been left in the States since the 1930s as well, so all the decor and stuff like that is completely the same as the original would be as well. So to split off one of the ends of the houses, I kind of made two separate rooms and sort of cut them away from the rest of the house and opened it up to the elements. So back here I kind of imagined it was the kitchen area, because it's normally round the back bit, so it's kind of sunken in right into the ground. And obviously because if the house is sunken down, it would also attract a lot of water as well, so I put a few ponds and stuff about just where the sunken bits were to kind of get where water was collected. So I kind of thought the walls would have been teared away as this end sunk down. So we've got the foundation-y parts and the wooden posts that make up the rooms as well kind of left behind, and all the plaster and everything has kind of fallen away. And we've got doors and frames that are still inside the walls, but they're not actually going anywhere. And I wanted to have a cracked roof that's kind of crumbled away, but I had to go in with some fences to try and make that happen, because the room function kept disappearing every time I wanted to get rid of the walls. So I had to go in with some fencing just to make it look a bit like beams were hanging from the ceiling, where the roof has collapsed under the weight of not having any walls there. So we put some normal roofs and stuff over the house that would have been traditionally used for this type of house, but obviously you can't put any roofs over where the fences are, so kind of looks a bit off to one side, but kind of adds to the aesthetic of the house as well. Gone for a very like classic brick exterior, so from the front it's supposed to look somewhat normal, and then further around the back it kind of gets worse and worse as you kind of get along. And I thought we would also sink the garage down as well, because that's like an extra extension to the house. It was really weird that the half walls have the little bit at the top like floating above. I don't know whether this is like a known thing, but half walls do not play ball when they are put under the normal terrain height. So that was pretty strange to see. And I also did it as kind of like the wall had exploded a bit, like it bowed and sort of collapsed out. And we put one of the garage doors from City Living on the front as well, just to add to the garage aesthetic. So now I'm going in and actually doing the terrain and stuff. We just sink around where everything is sunken down, and made sure to like expose the wooden foundation it's on as well, just to make it extra precarious. And I also build up like a really lumpy back garden terrain as well later on when we do a bit more landscaping. And I realized after I built this that the door to the bathroom is actually over the stairs, so I kind of thought that part of the wall or the flooring must have disappeared. We're also collapsing the front of the house a bit here in the bathroom to kind of make it look like it's kind of fallen away. It's starting to erode at the front as well, and it also means that we get some nice exposed beams and stuff. It also goes through the windows as well, so using good old move objects to make everything happen. But it was really interesting trying to furnish the broken bits, because you had to work out where things might have fallen down from and where things might go, and how they might look if they were kind of pushed off the edge and stuff. So we've got the kitchen at the back here, and we've got a living room that's had like some of its walls kind of crumbled away, but we've still got like the arches and stuff up, and we've got a door out to the garage, but you won't get very far because it leads to nowhere because of it being all sunk. We also do a few patio areas that would have existed when the house was there, but they're all at really different random levels, so it gets quite interesting once we start landscaping and stuff. So first of all, we're going to start with the kitchen. So I kind of imagined that some of the counters had like tumbled down onto each other, so we've got a few that are stacked and all at different angles and stuff. I also made sure if I was putting any plumbing in this build that we would have it like spurting out, and we got some exposed pipes and stuff later on as well. And I wanted to have it look like the cabinets were also had fallen down, but that was a bit more trickier because they kept like attaching themselves and snapping to the walls, so it made it a little bit harder. The cabinets, the ground cabinets, were a lot easier. It was just fun to like litter the floor with a load of objects as well, and kind of some of them are sunken down into the dirt itself, which was all a good fun to do as well. I kind of imagined that there might have been some sort of squatting or something inside this house at some point, so there's some odd objects about. I'm using the fountain like sprays to show the pipes being burst and stuff. So if you want to load up this build, all the plumbing will be lovely and spurting everywhere for you. So I kind of wanted all the furniture to be like really randomly placed in this build. So I kind of got a few chairs in the middle that look like they're being ready for a bonfire, to kind of light a fire to keep warm in this place, because obviously it's quite exposed, so it wouldn't do very well in the winter time. And we've got one chair that's like stacked on some boxes down below, and we've got one over the other side of the room as well. I also made sure to put a load of cracks and all the decal stuff from Jungle Adventures and the vampire stuff, just to add to the fact of the cracking and stuff, especially where the wall had split itself, kind of that it's affecting quite a lot of the house as well, and you could imagine it being nearly falling down in other places as well. I kind of tried to do very minimal lighting as well, so it looks really like creepy and stuff at night time. We've obviously got a few cobwebs and stuff, and once we actually get properly into like landscaping and putting plants in, it really adds to the whole feel. And when we got bookcases and all sorts of stuff like that, I kind of imagine that someone's thrown a load of books on the floor, like they've been knocked off or anything like that. So I tried to put some different piles of books in front of the bookcase, just to make it look a little bit more realistic, and tried to add in the fact that these people like abandoned their house without taking any of their stuff with them as well. So it kind of looks like someone had lived in there. Kind of what happened, we don't quite know why they moved away, but some of the trees that I put in later, you can kind of get some vibes from them. So I try to make the living room like somewhat more normal, because it's in a more sheltered area. Obviously the sofas are all like at janky angles, and we've got a few odd bits and pieces here and there. I also put some of the plants and stuff in the fireplace to kind of think that some of the plants have got in down the chimney and started growing through the fireplace itself. We're using some of the tatty curtains as well, and some of the curtains are like all mishmashed and there's like bits missing from them and stuff, just to kind of make it look like someone's come in and like torn it down, or the moths have been eating it or something like that. And it really annoyed me that we can't like twist paintings or rotate them or anything. So I kind of tried to put them, like some of them had fallen on the floor and some of them were still kind of hanging up, but I wish we could like rotate them a bit just to make them look like someone's like made them wonky or something. And then we got some of the muddy paw prints and stuff from the cats and dogs, like little decal, just to make it look like someone's trampled through there with like muddy boots, or an animal has actually gone and lived in there for a while. So I'm going to start putting in a few plants here and there, but we do a lot more later on. I thought it'd be fun to put the little tire planter out there to kind of they left an old tire and then plants just started reclaiming back what was theirs. And I thought, because you always see abandoned home with like loads and loads of like mail that's been posted, so I was just like, we have to do that in this house. So we got tons of mail by the front door, so I don't think you could probably get in this house because of all the mail, but I thought that would be quite a fun little touch. And we've got some different height curtains as well on the window in the hallway, and just making it beautiful. So this back bedroom is actually a toddler's bedroom, so we kind of put all the objects in, but I kind of thought it would be fun to have some of them like hanging off the edge and being at all like really strange angles that you wouldn't find stuff in. So we've got like chairs and more dresses like precariously hanging over, like ready to fall onto top of someone. And we've also got some toys as well about, and then I thought that the teddy bear would have fallen all the way down into the kitchen, so he is all the way down there on one of the chairs, so he's having a fun time. I kind of wanted to have one of the curtains sort of in a really weird place, but it wasn't working out, so I thought I would leave it. And then this is where the master bedroom would be. It's quite a huge space. It probably didn't need to be quite so big, but this room was kind of a slightly more put together than the room next to it. We've still got a few things in odd places. They put a little clock that's sort of hanging off the back in the hallway as well. You do get some nice natural light coming through the gaping holes in the wall as well, which is always good fun. And just trying to, I realised I was putting in things like too regularly, so at some point I will go through and actually make it a little bit more messy. We put some chairs in like ridiculous places as well. It's like, it'd be funny if a sim tried to sit in the one that's pointing out towards the actual place. And then this is the big family bathroom. So we've got the bath where the wall has collapsed. We've got like a toilet, 2 sinks and a shower as well. I did put some of the vampire mirrors about because they look like they have been like scratched off, so it's always good fun to use those. I thought in here someone might have tried to like stop the seepage of water, and it's kind of like got like yellowy stains where the toilet is, so they kind of tried to patch it up a bit because they might have been squatting here or something, but it kind of hasn't worked. And we'll go in and put in a load of the spouts as well, just to make it look like everything it's completely falling apart. I've got some washing and stuff that the family have left behind, and it's kind of like strewn all over the floor as well. So we got one that's coming like straight out the toilet, and then we got the other like arched ones for all the other bits of plumbing. I tried to make the little unit itself that it like spurts out of like really small, so you couldn't tell that it was like from an actual like plumbing, a little fountain thing, so it kind of looked like it was actually coming out of the plumbing itself, which would be quite fun to see in real life. And then this is where I remembered that we had like pipes and stuff, so I thought I better put a few of those about, especially in the bathroom area and down to the kitchen, because that would be where all the water and the heating and stuff would be. So it was important to show some details like that. And then this is like a kid's bedroom, so this one is quite enclosed, so I kind of just made the furniture just look a little bit wonky in here. There's not actually too much wrong with it. In this room as well, I started putting in the exposed like wooden beams in the broken wallpaper texture, so it kind of looked a little bit more run down than it was looking at the moment, because it's not really messy at the moment, but when we start putting in these like scaled up decals, it really adds to the fact that it's getting really destroyed in there, and it's all nice and messed up. And I didn't actually put too much detail in that room because it didn't want it to have too much personality to it. And I thought it'd be quite fun if the roof had bowed, so we've got like a double roof in there and it's kind of like sticking out a bit, just to, as though it might collapse. It's like collapsing under its own weight. And then just making a little broken path as we're gonna start doing the landscaping. So I actually used a lot of the plants from the vampire stuff because it looks as though they're all dead and sort of destroyed by some sort of natural disaster or a more man-made disaster. So we've got like loads of hills and loads of dips as well, kind of covered the main hill in like dirt. I thought it'd be quite funny to have like a massive mound of dirt in the back garden. And we've got where the patio has broken up into two sections, and where there were like big holes, I thought it'd be quite fun to put the big huge tree like sunken in, especially in the garage pit. It fitted in super nicely there, so it kind of now looks like we've had a bit of some nuclear fallout with all the trees like completely shredded, and we've got some of the dead bushes and stuff as well. And I'm gonna put a few more ponds and some of the big ivy and nettles and stuff about, just to really add to the aesthetic and make it look like nature. Tried to reclaim the house and kind of got a bit singed and disintegrated in the process as well. Kind of it's trying to rebuild stuff using a lot of the pond sort of coverings and the grasses as well, because they attach quite nicely to the terrain. Adding a few rocks about to kind of have rubble and just like bits of rubbish about everywhere. I should have gone into the debug menu and literally put rubbish and stuff about, but I've had enough fun with the debug menu in other builds. I don't know how annoying it is to try and find whatever you want in there. So it's just trying to find the garage door that kind of is now to the side, and we've got a little chimney on the ground as well. We thought it quite nice to put a little swing at the back to make it look as though it was a habitated house. And we've got a few bins that are scattered all over the place. I do put a little broken fence off camera on this house as well, just to kind of make it look like it was somewhat fenced in. And so here are the screenshots. I hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, feel free to give it a like. If you'd like to see any more builds, then feel free to subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye.